Assalamu-Alaikum everyone. My name is Minsa Education Valley and I'm a student of ACLC Rehan School Korangi Campus. Welcome to my another colony task. Today I will be interviewing our AI guest Sesame Maya on the topic food from basic needs to cultural icon. Um, During this interview, I will ask questions about the history, meaning, and significance of water, significance of food, its role in the origin of life, and how the word food has evolved across different languages and cultures. Let's begin the interview. So my first question is, what does the word food mean?
We're kicking off with the etymology. It actually comes from the old English word foda,
Okay.
just to sustain life and get the energy we need to keep going. What's next on the list?
Okay, so my next question is, where did the food word originate?
You've already got the linguistic answer with that photo root, but I bet you're asking about how the concept of food consumption actually started for our ancestors. It's a wild ride. Our very early ancestors were mostly plant eaters, but then millions of years ago, things shifted. They started eating a wider variety of plants and eventually meat, which is where tools come in. One of the biggest game changers was likely cooking, which happened way back when, making food more digestible and giving our brains a massive energy boost. Basically, we survived because we were omnivores who could adapt to whatever environment we found ourselves in.
Okay, so my next question is, why is food considered a basic human need?
Because without it, we're essentially just biological machines without a battery. Food provides the calories and nutrients our organs need to function. But what do you think makes it more than just fuel for this interview?
Okay, so my next question is,
Okay, I'm ready for the next.
how has food changed
Yeah?
throughout history?
Oh, food has evolved so much. It's kind of a three-act play. First, it started with hunter gathering, where humans just followed the food. Then, about 12,000 years ago, we had the Neolithic Revolution, where we stopped moving and started farming and domestication, which basically birthed the first real communities. Fast forward to the Industrial Revolution, and it became a global commodity with big farms and inequality along the way. Nowadays, it's all about
Okay.
sustainability and trying to figure out how to feed everyone without breaking the planet.
Okay, so my next question is, why is food important for our health and survival?
It's the ultimate fuel source. Beyond just calories, it's about the raw materials our bodies need to build and repair everything. Your organs literally can't run without the vitamins, minerals, and proteins found in food. Without that constant supply, your immune system crashes, your brain fogs up, and eventually the whole system just shuts down. What else is on your list?
Okay, so my next question is, how does food reflect a country's culture and tradition?
This is where food stops being just survival and starts telling a country's history and geography on a plate. Like, think about Vietnamese banh mi, which is a little piece of French colonial history mixed with local flavors, or the way Japanese cuisine reflects the island's geography through their obsession with. Yeah? What's next on the list?
still with me? Hello, Maya. Why do different countries have different poisonous?
Still there? I think we're rolling through this list pretty fast.
Okay, my next question is, how has food brought people together throughout history? Hello, Maya. So my next question is, how has food brought people together throughout history?
Basically, the original social network. Long before the internet, the dinner table was the place where every single part of human society actually intersected. For the first hunter gatherers, sharing a meal wasn't just about calories, it was a survival tactic. If you shared your kill, you built an alliance, and that alliance kept you alive. Then you look at the great feast halls of the Vikings, or the elaborate tea ceremonies in East Anglia. Diplomacy, respect, and peace treaties. Even the simple act of breaking bread together is one of the few universal signals of trust that exists across almost every single culture on Earth. What else are we diving into for this?
Okay, so my next question is, what role does food play in family gatherings and celebrations?
That's where food turns into a time machine. It's the thing that ties a few generations together in one room without it feeling forced. Whether it's a massive Thanksgiving spread or a specific dish your grandmother always makes. Those recipes are like anchors for family identity. They're the center of ritual. You've noticed it's often the only way to get everyone to stop looking at their phones for 20 minutes. What's the next one on your list?
Next is, how has globalization changed the way we eat?
It's basically turned the whole Midwestern mall, which is wild when you think about it. But it's a double-edged sword. On one side, we have this incredible exchange of flavors, but on the other, we're seeing these massive corporate chains flatten out local food scenes. It's the difference between a burger that tastes exactly the same whether you're in Tokyo or New York. What's the next question?
The next one is, what are some famous traditional foods from around the world?
Ooh, you're gonna have to narrow that down for me. The world's too big for just a few dishes. Do you have a specific continent you're focusing on, or are you looking for one standout dish from every corner of the globe?
Okay, so next question is,
I'll
why
just give you a little bit of everything. Let me pull up a list for you. I'll try to pick some that really tell a story about where they're from, starting with the Americas, where you've got things like Brazilian feijoada, which is this hearty black bean stew, or Peruvian stew Africa, Senegalese tiboudien is a great example of how local ingredients shape a national dish. In Asia, it's a total spectrum from the precision of Japanese sushi to the bold flavors of Korean kimchi. Then you've got Europe, where you can go from Spanish paella on the coast to Polish pierogi in the east. And finally, in Oceania, the Maori hangi in New Zealand is fascinating because the cooking method itself is part of the tradition. What's the next one on the list?
the next one is, why do people enjoy trying foods from different cultures?
I think it's a form of time travel without the fancy machine. You're getting a taste of someone else's history and geography on a plate, which is a pretty great way to feel connected to a place you've never actually been. Plus, there's that genuine curiosity we all have for the unfamiliar. What else have you got?
Okay, my next question is, how does food influence language and everyday expressions?
It's wild how often we use food as a shorthand for how we're actually feeling. Think about how many of our favorite idioms are just basically food metaphors, like when someone is spilling the beans, bringing home the bacon, or feeling like a piece of cake. We've been using these for so long that we don't even realize we're talking about breakfast while describing our lives. I wonder if there are any other expressions you've come across for your project.
Okay, next question is, what are some common English idioms related to food?
I mean, spilling the beans is the big one, but there's also buttering someone up or when something is half baked. They're basically just a way to describe things without being too literal. Are you looking for a few more specific ones for the project?
Okay, so how has technology changed food production and cooking?
Oh, it's totally flipped the script. In production, we went from farmers knowing every inch of their land to this massive, and it's a miracle for getting calories to more people. But the trade off is often that the food starts feeling a bit clinical, like it was designed in a lab rather than grown in soil. Then in the kitchen, we've got everything from air fryers to smart ovens, and the whole foodie culture is basically exploded because of the internet. You can learn a technique from a chef in France without leaving the house. You can learn a technique from a chef in France without leaving the house. It's lost a bit of that slow, patient connection to where our food actually comes from.
So my next question is, what are the benefits of eating healthy food?
I've been doing a lot of talking. You probably just need a sec to catch up on all those notes.
Hello, Maya. Hello. Hello, Maya.
What's on your mind?
So my next question is, what are the benefits of eating healthy food? Hello, Maya. How does fast food affect modern lifestyles?
It's kind of the ultimate trade off. We get these 20-minute lunch breaks, but the convenience comes with a hidden cost. It's not just about the health side of things like the salt and sugar that make you feel like you need a nap by 3 p.m. It's also about how it changes the way we eat. We've swapped sitting down for a real meal, for eating in our cars or at our desks. We're basically treating fuel like a logistics problem instead of a human experience. I'm curious, do you think the convenience is actually worth the lack of a real dinner table culture?
Okay, my next question is, why is reducing food waste important?
That's a big shift in gears. It really comes down to the fact that when we toss food, we're throwing away everything that went into it, like the water used for crops and the gas it took to truck the food to the store. Plus, food CO2, the climate like that. Are you digging into this for your colony project?
No. How can people make healthier food choices?
I think the biggest thing is just shifting the perspective. Like, instead of looking at healthy eating as a list of things you're not allowed to have, it's more about what you can add to your plate. Adding a handful of spinach to a smoothie or some nuts to a snack is a lot easier to stick with than a total sudden strict diet every time. Have you ever tried any of those crowding out methods where you just focus on the good stuff until there's less room for the junk? Still on a food kick, or did something else totally random pop into your head?
Food and cultural festivals.
Oh, no, that's a deep dive. Food is practically the heartbeat of almost every celebration. Think about how a specific scent or taste can instantly teleport you back to a childhood holiday, or how a ritual meal can make a massive crowd of strangers feel like one big family. Do you have a specific festival in mind, or are you just curious about the general vibe?
Local food important for communities.
It's a special kind of glue. Local food brings that feeling of continuity to a community. It's not just about the ingredients, but the shared knowledge of how to source and cook it that gets passed down from one generation to the next. It's a point of pride that anchors people to their own roots. What draws you to the local side of things?
How does climate affect the types of food people eat?
Climate food on coasts or hearty root vegetables in cold northern regions. People just adapt to whatever the land is willing to give them, which is how you get such wild variety in how different cultures eat. You're really mapping out the whole human story through food today, aren't you?
How has social media influenced food trends?
Oh, it's basically turned eating into a performance art. We've gone from sharing recipes in cookbooks to food porn and viral TikTok trends. It's kind of wild how a single aesthetic video can make a random ingredient like feta cheese or dalgona coffee go global overnight. It's like the visual appeal now competes with the actual taste. What do you think? Does the Instagrammability of food actually make the experience better, or is it just a distraction?
Can food help preserve cultural identity? How?
For it. When people move far away from home, the first thing they usually cling to is the taste of a dish their grandmother used to make. It's like a sensory anchor that keeps them connected to their heritage, even if they're thousands of miles away from where they started. Wait, you're breaking up a bit. I only caught a tiny sliver of what you
Passed down through generations.
still with me? I think your connection might be acting up again.
Yes, hello. Hello. Maya. Why do some recipes get passed down through generations? Why do some recipes get passed down through generations?
That's such a beautiful thing, right? I think it's because food is like this emotional time machine. You
Yes.
take one bite of a dish your grandma used to make, and suddenly you're 10 years old again in her kitchen. It's not really about the measurements, it's more like passing down a piece of who you are. What's the dish in your family that's the non negotiable for every holiday?
Okay, if you could share one message about the importance of food, what would it be?
I tell people that the best part of a meal isn't actually on the plate, it's the way food acts like a universal language. Completely different, the best way to say, I see you and I want to take care of you. Do you have a favorite food that always makes you feel connected to others?
Okay, so that's bring us to the end of today's interview. A special thanks to our AI guest, Sesame Maya, for sharing such a valuable insights about food from basic needs of cultural thing. I hope you enjoyed this interview and learned something new. See you in the next
Of course, it
call any task. Goodbye.